So you think you know the PlayStation 1 library up and down. Well, I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games. And today I count down the top 10 hidden gems for the PlayStation 1.
Second Opinion Games.
Number 10, Pandemonium 2. Why the first game was terrific, the second one just shows a little bit more polish. This one actually feels like it was made for the PlayStation and what it can do. The graphics today look a little bit ugly, but this is 2.5D gold here. The levels are super long. You have two different characters to choose from. One has a double jump, which I actually prefer, and the other one jumps very, very little bit, but has an attack that's super short. This game is great. So many things are going on at once. Deadly fireballs. The levels feel like they're real and lively, and sometimes just straight up want you dead. This is absolutely a terrific game, and you should definitely get it. Number 9, Discworld II, Morality Bites. The Discworld series is a point-and-click adventure game, and this one has personality to spare. Some of these jokes feel like they're ripped straight out of Monty Python, and it is great. This game plays exceptionally well with the PlayStation mouse, as the controller is very cumbersome here. The comedy in this game is worth it alone. However, some of the lateral thinking puzzles are enough to just make you want to punch your TV, so you know what? Pick up a guide and go through this game piece by piece and make sure you explore it when you have time to do so. After all, in the first couple minutes of the game, you'll even find a guy that explains why there's ants in the computer for at least 5 minutes. It's very long and drawn out, just like what I'm doing right now.
With it all being so new and everything, we were bound to end with, a lot of bugs in the system. And that'd mean people would be complaining the whole, time. Every time it wouldn't work properly, they'd call us and tell us there was, a bug in the machine kind of thing.
Number 8, Ray Storm. Sometimes getting lost in the sea of all the great shooters on the PlayStation 1, Ray Storm is brought to you by Working Designs, a company known for going above and beyond what it takes to bring you a great experience. We're talking full-color manuals with raised lettering and just over-the-top voice acting. The music is terrific here. You have a couple different ships that maybe you could find one that fits your play style. And the graphics are terrific. I personally love the sprite scaling and the early polygonal effects, along with ships flying from the background to the foreground. This is a terrific shooter. And remember, we're nothing without you. Number 7, Time Crisis. Nowadays, we pretty much expect our home consoles to give us better gameplay than in the arcade. However, back then, this was not the case, and Time Crisis was the first time that I sat down with my home game system and thought, this is just like the arcade. I used to plow through the arcade version of this game in just 1 credit, getting the top score every single time. And I can tell you the PlayStation version is no different. Just don't play it on a 13-inch TV or you're not going to be able to hit freaking anything. Make sure you break out your gun comm, because that is the best way of playing this game. And Time Crisis offers everything that the arcade had, and more. Sometimes even throwing in whole new missions. This is better than the arcade, and I don't have to keep feeding quarters to my PlayStation 1. Action! Number 6, Buster Brothers Collection. If you live in Europe, you might also know this game as Pang, which is a stupid name because Buster Brothers is freaking awesome. You have to fight these evil bubbles, and you do it with the only thing you know how, a harpoon gun. This is terrific, and it has the arcade original Buster Brothers along with some other Buster Brothers style games. My favorite is Panic Mode in Super Buster Brothers, where you can just play forever or until your skills completely give out. This is a terrific game that will have you playing for hours just trying to get your high score. Number 5, Twisted Metal Small Brawl. Now the Twisted Metal series is no hidden gem. As a matter of fact, it's a straightforward gem. However, Small Brawl kind of flew in under the radar and no one really even seemed to notice. This time, you're using RC cars, and the gameplay is almost exactly the same as traditional Twisted Metal. So if you like that game, you're gonna love this one just as much. There is some animated cutscenes here and there, and Twisted Metal Small Brawl is just exactly what you loved about Twisted Metal, only shrunk down pint size. Number 4, Ghosts in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell, I don't think really needs me to explain it because the anime says it all. And this has tons of anime cutscenes written and created exclusively for this game. On top of it, the gameplay itself is a masterpiece. Your mech-like thing just flies around like crazy. It's very maneuverable, walking on walls and anything else. Firing missiles is very satisfying, and machine guns sound terrific. This game, at times, even turns into an on-rail shooter and never ceases to be extremely fun. My only complaint is the length of the game is a little bit short, but gameplay itself, completely terrific. It is definitely a must-have. Number 3, Castlevania Chronicles. If you talk about games that are getting completely overshadowed by their big brother, well, Castlevania Chronicles is number 1 on the list. This is a remake of the first Castlevania game with a few more tricks. It even offers a whole new item, the Healing Leaf, that can make the game a breeze until you fall in a pit and die and lose it, and let's face it, you're gonna fall in a pit and die. Also, stairs return as your worst enemy ever because you can't jump on them and jump off them at will like you can in other Castlevania games. However, it stays true to form. Now, you could play the original sharp 68,000 mode, or you could play the arranged, which is slightly easier with much better graphics, giving your character pink hair because he's a hardcore rocker now. And Castlevania Chronicles is one of the best Castlevania games you've never played. Number 2, Pocket Fighters. A super cutesy mix of Darkstalkers and Street Fighter. This little hidden gem really gives you tons of hidden gems to collect to power up your characters to unleash devastating moves. Now, Dan is in this game, but I think you much rather play as Akuma and completely level the playing field. However, Chun-Li is still my favorite. This time she changes into plenty of different costumes from other great Capcom games like Little Red Riding Hood or Jill Valentine. And this fighter is terrific from start to finish. The gameplay is a little bit more simplified, but the special moves are freaking over the top awesome. and finishing a character while using a special combo is extremely satisfying. Number 1, The Adventure of Lomax. Also going by its other name, that game I really wish to find at the flea market so I could sell it on eBay and make lots of money. This 2.5D game has up to 10 layers of parallax scrolling. A game that looks so beautiful, it gets very, very confusing. What the heck's going on? What's gonna hurt you? And then you're gonna die. It's a bit challenging just to try to focus out and actually see everything that's going on, but when you do, this is one of the best looking games on the platform. And it has certain segments in the game where you move in and out of the foreground, transitioning beautifully at that. Adventure Lomax is probably the best looking game on the system, and it definitely offers tons of hours of enjoyment. Unfortunately, it will set you back a small fortune, also being one of the most expensive games on the system. But what do you expect from a gem? To be something other than super expensive? So, hopefully you enjoyed this list. Now, this isn't every single great game on the PlayStation 1 that you might have missed out alone. Matter of fact, I could probably make a list of just the RPGs that you totally missed out on that are completely hidden gems. But I just wanted to throw together a nice mix of games that you should maybe give a try. Speaking of other games that maybe you should give a try, here's a look at Punky Skunk, one of the most underrated games on the system, and it's 2D, something that the system didn't really go after very often. So, hopefully you hit that sub button, and remember, this whole thing was just my opinion. Thanks again, and I'll see you again, guys.